Hi friends, welcome back to my channel. Today Tali and I are hanging out here in my office and I wanted to have a chit chat about goals and goal planning and intentions and just all of the different things for this year. So I know it's already like nearing the end of January, but a lot of people, you know, have already stopped thinking about goal setting and that kind of stuff. But for me, goal setting is not something that like I do on the first day of January and then I forget about it. To me, it's like a constant evolving thing that continues throughout the whole year. So every month I sit down and I look at my goals and I see if I'm on track and if I'm making progress and where I am and what I can do better. And every week I sit down and decide, you know, what are the things that are going to help me to get towards my goals and all of those things. So I'm constantly reflecting, constantly shifting and changing things. But I wanted to talk about some of the things I want to do this year. We already talked about like my goals, like the big things, but I want to talk about more of the other things in this video so that we can kind of chit chat about not just like business, making things, making money, that kind of stuff, but also the other things that are helpful in your life. Because if you've been around, you know that I'm really big on being intentional. And if you can be intentional with your life, then you will be much happier in your life because you will actually go places you want to go and do things you want to do and not do things you don't want to do. And just having intentionality with your life makes all of that possible. So we're having a super chill day. Like, I'm not even wearing makeup. My hair is still half wet from my shower. I've got my nice little mug of coffee. Here we go. It says I'm fully booked. It has Belle on it. And I have my bullet journal here, and we're just gonna go through and talk about different intentions and goals that I have for this year that you could potentially have for you. Now, the first thing is, if you haven't set your goals, like, it's not too late. You can do it at any time. It does not need to be January 1st. And along with that, you can change them at any time. So if you decide like, hey, I no longer care about this thing, you're welcome to change it. And so don't feel like you're married to your goals. If it's not something that you care about anymore, it's okay to change your mind. All that being said, with your goals, I would suggest having just like separate categories. And so you can just do this on a notebook, piece of paper. I have it in my bullet journal, and so I made this little like Dutch door thingy so that it's all like on the same little section, but there's different pages for each of the different things so that we can talk through different things. So I have like my main goals, and then I have intentions. I have something for each section of my business, and then finance, personal, and then two things that I haven't quite finished are systems and stressors, which we'll talk about that a little bit later. So as far as big goals, I already told you most of these. So this year I'm looking at making 120 to 150,000 in my business overall, but really I want to get to the point where my business is making 10,000 a month. And so that's probably not going to happen in January, but at like by the end of the year, I want it to be like 5 figures being more normal than now. So I'm not expecting to get it every month, but if I could get it, you know, some months, especially, you know, building up to that towards the end of the year, then that would be great. And that's kind of where I'm headed. I had a few months this past year that were like 8,000, 9,000, so it's not super far off, but that's like my main thing. And then that's why I picked 120 as like my goal. I would like to make a new course in my Becca's music room, so we'll talk more about that when we get there. So just for music teachers, I haven't decided what I have a couple of ideas. I haven't decided which one to do, and I might just send an email to my email list and be like, hey, which of these 3 things are you interested in, and see which one people say the most. I'm looking at writing a goal setting book towards the end of the year that can go along with the goal setting course that we have. And I would really like to do that. Books are a lot of work, but I'm kind of itching to write another one. It's been over a year now, so I'm kind of like, we should do that. In my Becca's Bible class, I'm planning to hit 100 products this year. That was my same goal last year, but you know what? It's okay. And make at least 1 month that is 1,000 or more, because that one definitely has not done as well, very much because I don't put nearly the effort into it that I put into the other one. On this channel, I would like to do 100 videos We'll talk more about that in a second. And then I really, this year, I'm going to hire a video editor, and I'm gonna hire someone to come clean my house like every week or two towards probably the middle of the year is when I'm looking at that. So those are like the big main things I'm looking at, but some of the smaller things, I labeled these under intentions because these are like not goal things. They're just things I want to do and things that I think are gonna make my life a little bit better. So the first one, and really I'm looking at like, you know, just a little bit easier. So the first one is cleaning the kitchen every night before bed. I find that I feel a lot better when the kitchen is clean and I don't wake up to a whole bunch of dirty dishes. And so that is one of my goals, and we have been on it. So I didn't even tell my husband this until like 2 weeks into the year, but one of us has cleaned the kitchen every night before we've gone to bed. And he did it quite a few times, more than usual. Like, he's always helpful around the house, but like more than usual. And then I told him, I was like, this is one of my goals for this year. And so like we've really been on it with that one, and it's a little thing, but it just makes life feel so much better. I'm also looking at playing my cello at least twice a week so that I can actually get better. And I have not been great at that, which I'm attributing to I was sick and just was like, pretty much came home from work and would just lay on the couch because I just needed that time. But I'm working on it. So that's happening. I have a travel goal this year. I've never had a travel goal before. And I really, like, for years, I've wanted to travel. That's always been my big thing. It's like, I want to travel. I want to go places. I want to see things. And I feel like I have not done a great job of that. Like, yeah, we've gone to Disney. We've gone camping different places. Like, we have gone places, but not the frequency I like. And a lot of times it's been, like, really stretched for money, and so like kind of stressful. And so this year I'm really looking for that to not happen. I'm really looking to overhaul my money this year, and because of that I would like to travel 6 times this year. And so I already know we have at least 4 trips on the books. So I know we're going to Disney in March. We always go in July. And then in November, we might go in October too, because my father-in-law has reservations, but I don't know if we're going because it's like a normal week. It's not like a day I have off. So we'll see. And then we have already planned a trip for the Biltmore Estate, which is in, now I forgot, North Carolina. I think it's North Carolina. You can correct me if I'm wrong. But that's gonna be in February. Tali just looked at me like, you're gonna leave me? Yes. So that is happening. So I already have at least 4 on the book, so we need to find 2 more, which I figured we'd probably go somewhere for our anniversary, which is in May, and then just 1 more. And we can kind of look closer to the end of the year, because I just, like, at this point I don't know what's happening at the end of the year yet. And so we still have time to make plans and all of that. But specifically I wanted to go somewhere that I've never been before, because although I love Disney, we do go often, and so I would like to have different experiences. And now we are gonna go and stay at one of the Disney hotels for the first time ever. Well, for me, they've all been at other places, but I'm excited for that. So that makes it feel like different and, you know, changing it up. But then I've never been to Biltmore, so that's gonna be fun and exciting and new. And just like, you know, I was looking at, you know, I would like to like go, you know, to Greece and to Australia and to Hawaii and like all these like far off places. And so I was like, how can I just, you know, take like a bite size of that now so that I'm not like waiting for happiness down the road. That's one of my big things this year. That should be another intention. My quote that I picked at the beginning of my bullet journal is from Moana. It's from the opening song, and it says, "You must find happiness right where you are." And that's really what I'm looking at this year, is like, how can I be happy now, and how can I have those long-term things in bite-sized chunks now, so that I'm not like waiting for some magical day to be happy. Teachers do this all the time. They're like waiting until break to enjoy their lives, you know, waiting until it's summer and then we can be happy. I want to be happy right now. Like, you know, I want to be happy while I'm teaching, and I want to be happy while I'm at work. And even if it's not, you know, the greatest situation, which it isn't always, and I'm not always gonna be happy, I just want to look for like not waiting for my happiness to come and just kind of making it happen myself, however that is. Another thing with that, actually kind of related, is during lunch I want 15 minutes of quiet, because I realized one of my least favorite things about the school year and my favorite things about break is having brain space, is what I call it. Like literally time to think and time to just dream and think and have thoughts when you're not like, I gotta do this, I gotta do this, gotta do this, gotta do this, you know, because we get very into that and I have a lot going on. So sometimes that's how it feels. You know, I wake up, have to work out, have to make breakfast, have to, you know, do XYZ in my business, gotta get dressed, gotta go to school, gotta teach the kids, gotta, you know, write all the lesson plans, teach more kids. And then, you know, it's like, by the end of the day, it's like, oh my gosh, I just feel exhausted. And so I'm trying to break that up a little bit. And so one thing I'm doing is during lunch, I want 15 minutes of just silence. So like not looking at my phone, not watching YouTube videos, just silence, just eating my food and enjoying the quiet. Now this might be because I teach elementary music and it is loud in elementary music, and so there might be that. But I've really been enjoying just having a couple of minutes where it's just like calm, quiet, peaceful, and I just feel, you know, like I have a minute to breathe almost. And so I do have, I do have 30 minutes for lunch, and I went with just 15 because I thought that was a little more doable. I wanted it to be something that was simple to do every day. And so I was like, you know, I can do 15 minutes every day, because sometimes I do work during lunch. I have actually, this was not something I wrote down, but I have been doing my 15 minutes and eating my food during that time. And then I've been practicing piano during lunch, which has been really nice because it's like something constructive, productive, related to my work, but fun. So I didn't put that on here, but that's something I have been doing. The other thing that's helping me with quiet is in the afternoons, trying to at least 2 to 3 days a week come home and sit down and like read before I get into work mode, because I do work in the afternoons. What, you want to go back up, or are you going to sit right here, or you just want to say hello? One thing I've been doing is in the afternoon, 2 to 3 days a week is pretty much all I can commit to, because on Tuesdays I have staff meetings and on Wednesdays I film, and I need as much light as I can get for filming. I've been like coming home and sitting down and like reading before I get into things. So like ideally I would love to come home and like read the news a little bit, read a little bit of my book, and then play the cello and then get into work mode. But you know, we're doing the best we can at the moment. So those are a few of my intentions to just kind of like create a little bit of a calmer, more peaceful environment. It's a little hard with crazies walking around, but anyway, so now we're gonna get into like each section. Gosh, this is gonna be a long video. Each section of my business. So if you're new around here, I have 4 different parts of my business. My main one that makes the most money, that I spend the most time on, is my Becca's Music Room, which is a Teachers Pay Teachers shop. I have an Etsy shop, I have a YouTube and a blog and all of that stuff, but basically just anything that helps elementary music teachers. And then I also have a Bible class, TBT shop and blog, where I sell like Bible resources, stuff for Sunday school, that kind of stuff. I have what I call Becca's Teacherpreneur Academy, which is a YouTube channel where I help TBT sellers, and I also have like some courses and stuff. And then this YouTube channel, Becca Davis Vlogs, which is strictly for fun. So there's that. So in my Becca's Music Room, I'm looking at my year and really trying to find the gaps. So like looking through last year and seeing what months were a little bit lower, and what months need a little more help. And for those months, looking at seasonal resources for them. I have really seen the power of seasonal resources over the past year. They make a huge difference. They are a little bit tricky because the thing about seasonal resources, they only sell for a certain amount of time, but they can sell really, really well. So if I have a month that is lower, I'm looking at what seasonal resources I can make for that month to kind of boost the sales in that month, or what kind of sales can I do in that month to boost the sales in that month, like those kind of things. Just looking through and figuring that out so that I can kind of even out the crazy ups and downs as much as possible. I really want to have 1 month on TPT that is 5 figures. Is that gonna happen? No idea, but we shall see. And then I am changing my product covers. So on TPT, there's like listing photos, and the top one is usually something where people put like text and stuff. And I changed my product covers and I like them a lot better, but now I need to go and change them for my other 500 resources, so that's gonna be fun. I'm really looking at doing more like Pinterest pins this year, and I set up a schedule for myself to make that a little bit easier. Along with those two things, I have been really big into taking pictures of my products, and it's made a huge difference. But one thing I want to do is get like some props for it. So looking at, you know, the Target dollar section and even like the Dollar Tree, and just finding like different colored paper or just little like plants or things that are related. So like I was doing some matching games today for Valentine's Day, and I was like, man, I wish I had like little hearts that I could put, you know, in the background that would match. And so that would be really nice if I had, you know, more stuff. So that's something I'm just gonna be kind of on the lookout for this year, just little things I can add in there and just have like, you know, a drawer full of stuff. I would like to grow my email list to 10,000. That should be doable. And then I'm looking to create a course, which I already mentioned. In my Becca's Bible class, I, again, am trying to hit 100 products. Would like a month that is $1,000, or preferably more months that are $1,000, but at least one, so that's kind of what we're building up to. And this one I mentioned is very much a side hustle for me. I like pick it up, I put it down, I ignore it for a couple months, I just kind of do what I want with it, and because of that it doesn't do nearly as well as the other one that I like work on every single day of my life. But it's fun, and my goal for it is that it can be more passive and it can just, you know, bring in sales without me doing a ton of work. And so that's been slower to build. Also, I've put a lot less effort into it, which is another reason why it's slower to build. But yeah. And I'm also gonna try to start adding videos to each of my blog posts. So I have a blog post that goes out every other week, and I would like to do a video that accompanies each blog post. That way I can get traffic on YouTube, add more, you know, content to my blog, because then people can watch the video if they prefer that, and it just kind of makes it a little more accessible. And so it's not a ton, you know, like every other week a little 5 to 10 minute video is not a big deal, and I think that will help grow that quite a bit and hopefully help with some more of that, you know, incoming traffic. Word, Becca. So I'm off to a good start. I made a whole bunch of new products this weekend, so I've got quite a few more. And then I have been looking also there for seasonal products, because I've seen a lot of really good seasonal products, and seasonal products making a huge difference in this one in particular. And so I have a couple of ideas for things for this year, so that's exciting. Then in my Becca Teacherpreneur Academy, the other YouTube channel, the main YouTube channel, I want to hit 10,000 subscribers on YouTube, which I should be there. I'm over 8,000 now, so I should be there in a couple of months, and so that will be good. I'm looking to create a new opt-in, so if you have suggestions or ideas for something you would like as a freebie, let me know down below in the comments. I want it to be like something really, really helpful. So if you have any ideas, let me know, like something really helpful that would be really nice. I want to promote my course. This is gonna sound stupid. I would like to promote my courses more. I feel like I make my courses and I talk about it for like a week and then I don't talk about them again. So I want to just like look through and see, you know, what kind of videos can I make where I can mention them, or that I can mention my opt-ins, and just like making sure that I'm bringing those things back up so people know that they are still available, they can still purchase them, they can still get helped, and all of that kind of stuff. And then I'm looking to make evergreen funnels and like really solidifying that so that they can continue to sell when I'm not promoting them. I also would like to do some more coaching calls this year. That's kind of a scary thing for me, because coaching calls I love, but they require me being like available at a certain time. And so I did take the step of like, I open up more spaces in my coaching calls, and I plan to look at it about like once a quarter and seeing where I can add more. And then since I'm not planning on doing quite as many like giant courses as last year, I might have a little bit more time, especially in the summer. Last summer was like the blogging course. I feel like that's the only thing I did over the summer, was write that blogging course. It was great, and it's still available, and I'm so proud of it, but it was a lot. And so this summer I would like to not do that, and instead maybe do a couple more coaching calls instead. Last year I think I only did them for like 2 months, and then I didn't have any slots available because I was like, I just can't handle it. we're gonna handle it this year. And then I would like to write that goal setting book, and then also have a workbook where people can like write all their answers down to everything. So those are goals for that little spot. For this YouTube channel, what I'm working on is I want to hit 100 videos, which is kind of a lot. That's, I mean, that's only like less than 2 per week because I started in December and I made a lot of videos in December. But I have this theory that your first like 50 to 100 videos are really helping you solidify your niche, and so like the faster you can get those up, the better, especially if you're new and you need the practice. I obviously have other YouTube channels, so I don't necessarily need the practice of like being on camera or editing. I could probably get a lot better with editing because I have been really lazy, but you know, that's okay. But the faster you can do it, the better. I heard, I don't even know who it was. There was a YouTube person on the Smart Passive Income, and he said your first 50 videos are gonna be crap, so the faster you can get those over with, the better. And so I took that out, and then he was like, and also the faster you can get to 100, the better. So I'm like, well, you know, let's hit 100 and do that. I would also love to hit 1,000 subscribers over here. I don't know if that's gonna happen, but we shall see. So invite all of your friends, please. And really establish my niche. And I literally wrote on here, no stress allowed. So one thing I did is I sat down with all of, you know, all the things that I do, and I was like, okay, what are things that have to happen and what are things that don't have to happen that would be nice if they did? And then on top of that, what are the things that matter most to me? So like I mentioned, that the Becca's Bible class is a hobby. It's just for fun. It's, you know, a side hustle. It's something I do not put a lot of effort into, versus Becca's Music Room that I work on day in, day out. I'm on Instagram, I'm talking to people, I'm posting videos, I'm posting blogs. Like, it is happening over there, and I am putting the effort in. And so I was like, okay, let's kind of, you know, figure these out. And so like Becca's Music Room is a business to me, versus Becca's Bible class is more of just for fun and just for extra, you know. And then my other YouTube channel where I have TBT tips is very much a business to me, and at least right now this channel is strictly a hobby, just for fun, just as an outlet to, you know, have all those fun things and vlogs and that kind of stuff that you and I love, and that's why we are doing it over here. But my main thing is like, I can't let this stress me out because it's a hobby. It's just for fun. Like, if I don't post a video, it's okay, versus like my other channel, if I don't post a video, it's a pretty big deal to me, because I have that commitment of like, I post a video every week. And so just having kind of a hierarchy of what's important and what's not as important, not that I don't think this channel is important, but it's just not the same level as the other one. And you know, that might change later on down the road, but that's where I am right now, is like, okay, this is allowed to stress me out, this is not allowed to stress me out. And so if I have to give something up, like, you know, if I'm just short-handed one week, or short-handed, I don't have anyone who works for me, so I don't know how I would be short-handed. But if I just don't have as much time one week, then I am looking at, you know, this is where it's going to come out of, versus these things that are more important. I would need to make sure these things happen. So that's where we are. I also have some finance goals, and these are actually my biggest ones this year. I was reading in Lisa Jacobs' book, Your Best Year Ever? Your Best Year Yet? I don't know, something like that. So in the book, she asks a bunch of different questions to figure out what you want to do over the year. And so one of them was, what has to happen to make this year a success? And just picking like one thing of like, this is how I know my year was successful, is if this one thing happened. And that was really interesting to me. I've never thought about it that way. But it was really helpful. And so for me, that one thing is actually in my finances area, and just kind of getting that set and figured out. And so I already told you, like, I want to have months over $10,000, but I have two things that I'm looking to pay off. I have a credit card I'm paying off, and I have student loans that I'm paying off, and I would like to get them all done this year, so that that is completely out of the way, and we just have a lot more money to put towards, just like more money that we can put towards other more important things. So for example, I have a 15-year-old car, and so we're at the point where like I just say a prayer every time I get into it, and I'm like, hopefully it just keeps running. And so because of that, and because if you saw my vlogs like last year in spring break, I had a huge scare where I thought my car was like dead, and it ended up being fine. My grandfather-in-law, my husband's grandfather, fixed it, and so it's fine. But after that, I was like, let's have some money set aside just in case. And so I have been building a little bit of a savings for if I need a new car. And so really amping that up so that I can purchase a new car this year if need be. I'm still planning to drive it until it just like falls apart. But if it happens to fall apart this year, I would like to be able to purchase, you know, a new car. And preferably I would love to purchase a new car without a payment, without, you know, like financing it. And if I do have to finance it, just like being able to put a huge down payment on it so I'm not carrying a ton of debt, because I'm just trying to get like the monthly payments down, pretty much is what I'm looking at. Is, you know, I'm preparing for one day the possibility of taking my business full time. I'm not there yet, emotionally or financially, but like if I can get the monthly bills lower, then it will be less stressful to have, you know, the ups and downs of the business. So getting those two things paid off is like my main. If I can get those two things paid off and some money in savings for a car, then I will feel like this year is a success. That is what I'm after. And then I've also been doing a lot of stock learning and learning about different stocks and trying to figure out all of that stuff. And so I set the goal of I want to buy one company. just one, so that, you know, it's because I really want to like do the research and know all the things about it before I purchase it. So I was like, we're gonna aim real low. I just want to buy one, just one, that's it. I think I went over all of my personal stuff already, although I do have some house stuff that I'm looking at. So this year we really wanted to, again with that, like, I don't want to wait to be happy kind of thing. I don't want to wait for some magical day where our house is, you know, exactly how we want it to be. Or, you know, I hate the idea of like, you know, people paint their house or put down new carpet when they sell it, and I'm like, I want new carpet now. Like, I want the house to be painted now, you know, and just things like that, like just not waiting until then. So I made this little spread in my bullet journal. It's like a little house, and so I have different things in each room that I'm looking to do. I'm not going to bore you with all of the details, but we have a couple things, and nothing's like huge. Like, there's not giant remodeling. We bought our house new, so we're pretty content with it. But like, we want to screen in the back porch. We already have a porch. We just would like to like screen it in, doing like the backsplash in the kitchen, because that's something that's been on the list for literally years. I'm like reorganizing the closet, and so I got like a hat rack because I have a lot of hats, and I got some like new boxes and just cleaning things out in there. Looking at my room upstairs where I do all of my like painting and sewing is just like a disaster because I have not put the time or effort into making it better. And so this year I really want to put the time or effort into making it better and just like making it more functional. So I think I might get like a larger table, and I would like, you know, like a comfy chair to sit in, so if I'm working in there I can like take a break, and just so that I like want to go in there and spend time in there. And I already got curtains, but I need to hang them up, and so just lots of stuff like that are on this list. Like, there's not anything giant or like crazy. I think screening in the porch is the biggest thing, which again, we already have the porch, we just have to like do the screening, so it's not gonna be a ton. It's not gonna be crazy. It's not like, you know, totally remodeling the house. But I have a couple little things kind of in each room. Some of them are just like, oh, I want to buy a new chair, and then others are more like doing the backsplash and stuff like that. So just, again, being intentional and not waiting for happiness. Those are kind of, well, being intentional is always my goal, but not waiting for happiness is one of my biggest things this year. Is how can we be happy now? How can we enjoy life today? We're not going to be happy every day, of course, but, you know, especially with, you know, the world and the situation that we are in at the moment, things are crazy, and I feel like I have done a lot of like waiting around until we can do XYZ, and I'm just done waiting. And so now we're just gonna, if, you know, if I can't be singing in choir because of COVID, then what can I do now to kind of satisfy that need? Oh, I can play my cello. Okay, that's still, you know, working the same muscles, not literally because this versus diaphragm, but working the same like brain muscles and kind of in that same area, and, you know, just things like that. How can I, even if I can't do what I want to do, how can I take a bite-sized chunk of it now in order to, you know, do more later. If I can't, one, afford, and two, all the travel restrictions for like international travel are crazy at the moment. Okay, what can I do more locally? What can I do that's gonna be a little cheaper and things like that, that I can still travel now, still make those things happen now, even though, you know, it's not even if it's not quite like what you ultimately want, and just being like, that can still happen. But for now, I'm gonna do what I can do now to just make life a little better. So I encourage you, if you either haven't set your goals, or if you have set your goals but they're all like, I want to make this much money, I want to do this, I want to do this, and they're not more like, how can I be happy? Think about a couple of small ways that you can just improve your happiness over, you know, the day. Maybe that's just like taking your dog on a walk. Maybe that's, you know, remodeling the kitchen. Maybe that's, you know, going camping, whatever it is. Just think about little ways that you can inject a little bit more happiness now and stop waiting for whatever it is you're waiting for to enjoy life. So that's my inspirational chit chat with you. That's everything that I'm working on this year. I'm gonna finish my coffee. I always make coffee and then I don't drink it. But it's still warm, so there's that. All right, friends, I'll see you later. I would love to know any of the things that you are working on this year, so leave those down below in the comments, and I'll see you later. Bye.